Welcome back to Stage C, everyone. We're here for our second to last session of the day, and it's going to be an incredible keynote from Harrison Shih of DoorDash Labs and Wolt. Harrison co-created DoorDash Labs back in 2018. It's their robotics and automation arm. He's been responsible for various initiatives across the company, including dark kitchens, kitchen automation, and autonomous delivery, which I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot about today. So with that, would love to welcome Harrison to the stage. Come on in. There we go.
Hi, everyone. This is an interesting experience. I'm Harrison, and I lead global automation and robotics for DoorDash, which is the parent company for Wolt. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about autonomous delivery and how we see the future of mobility around cities to be multimodal. Wolt, for those of you that don't know, is a last-mile delivery service in over 500 cities across over 30 countries. Today, maybe you've gotten to experience a takeout meal that we deliver to you or a last-minute grocery top-off that we've been able to bring. We provide this service to bring local communities tighter together, and we love to think about how we can make delivery even more seamless, fast, reliable, and something just suited for you. And we're constantly obsessed with finding new ways to make that even better. The way we do this is that we manage a three-sided marketplace. It's important for us that we balance all three sides. The first is we bring consumers what they want. We give them an experience to their local communities the way that they never had before. We bring merchants closer to those consumers and let them focus on what they do best. And we give courier partners the flexibilities of earnings to service and be their own boss. So today, this model is probably familiar to many of you. It's a pretty straightforward thing as we've ordered. Our courier partners get deployed by our platform and by our service to connect you with your favorite merchants. In the future, we want to expand this and beef up our ability to connect you with your merchants by adding autonomous delivery. This is a fascinating idea. Today, we're already multimodal. When you've ordered delivery last, it may have come by road in a car, it may have come in a bike lane by bike, or it may have come by a pedestrian dropping off the order on foot. Tomorrow, robots will use the same infrastructure to bring you your food, and drones may even bring it to you through the skies. This is true multimodality, and this is a way that we can best service our three-sided marketplace. So this is a big topic. What is autonomous delivery to us? We don't think it's a concept anymore. This is the real deal. The technology has matured drastically, and we see it as an assured core part of our business moving forward. What we see is that technology moves forward, but it doesn't have to be a replacement for what was there before. Historically, this has actually never been true, right? As technologies advance, productivity increases, and the availability of that service also increases. Take ATMs, for example. With the arrival of ATMs, we didn't see a drastic drop-off in bank teller jobs. To the contrary, we saw a rise in bank teller jobs as bank branches opened up on every street corner, as ATMs made the ubiquity of banking service available to customers of all types, not just the niche wealthy. And so robots, ATMs, got to do what they do best, which is count money, and people got to do what they do best, which is customer support and larger transactions. We see this with delivery as well. Through COVID, we saw that the demand for local delivery is almost limitless. People want local delivery, and they're addicted to it. What is also true is that we can't keep up with the capacity to service that demand. Robots can absolutely help with that. Robots give us an ability to service harder to service orders by our couriers, say really short distance, low value orders, or times when our market is incredibly congested. There's also moments in which our robots have been able to operate when it's not been safe for Dashers to do so. In Australia, twice already, we've had to shut down our marketplace because it wasn't safe for Dashers to drive. And at those times, our drones could still fly. And so let's dive a little bit into our robot projects. We've watched the self-driving space for over the last decade. I got obsessed with it when I was at Google over a decade and a half ago and got to ride in one of the early chauffeur cars, which later became Waymo. What we saw was that this technology had promise. I immediately saw this would be the future, and there was no doubt in my mind. What I also realized, though, is that it was custom built for passenger carry. And it turns out carrying people is very different than carrying things. And so at DoorDash, we've invested from over the last decade to push a specific type of robotics that can carry cargo in a more sane way. And so you can see our deployments today here in Europe, in Helsinki, as well as other countries around the world. And what we've done is build robots that integrate with your everyday life. Instead of being nameless cars on the road, they coexist with you on the sidewalk and bike lanes, and therein lies their challenge as well. People have to load and unload them, people have to stand next to them at intersections, and people have to walk alongside of them. And so we know that they have to be uber safe, they have to be reliable, predictable, and in our mind, they have to be really cute and approachable as well. We see robots as a huge benefit to our market. They can complement our Dasher fleet, as I was saying earlier, and they can make us a more usable service across places where it just makes sense to use something that's more fit for the task. We're committed to making these available in more places. It's really just the delivery you're accustomed to, but with a small twist. Maybe a slightly bigger and more drastic change is our investment in drone delivery. Similarly, this is something we've watched for a while. The last decade has seen a lot of progress in both the technology and more recently the regulatory landscape for drones. And it's fascinating. In logistics, there's these two countervailing forces that seem to always push against each other: quality and cost. Generally, they move against each other. Take, for example, your choice to do air shipping versus ground shipping. You trade faster service for a higher price. In last mile delivery, I'm sure you've all ordered food delivery before that was batched. This is a similar idea. We're able to get you a more affordable, more sustainable network of delivery, but the consequence is that you wait a couple of orders to be dropped off before yours gets there. Drone delivery is one of those unicorn opportunities for us where it can shift both curves out, quality and affordability. Not only can it be cheaper and more efficient to operate, but it also is much faster. The average flight time of 3 minutes in our deployments compared to 15 minutes of drive time. But this is one of those things that you really have to see to understand. So I made a little video for you to see what some of our deployments look like. I don't know if the audio is coming through, but you can see on here the multimodality of even flight. Some drones can fly with wings, carry a little bit less cargo, but maybe cover more range with higher efficiency. We have different packaging types on how orders are put and taken out from the drone. And we have different ways that they're set. Like this one's an octocopter, for example, using a coaxial design on 4 arms, an Irish company that we are working with now in Finland. There are lots of opportunities with drone delivery. We can reimagine the way that Wolt can service you and your local neighborhood. Today, it's not really a technology problem anymore. Drones can fly, and this challenge of bringing cargo across your city is a relatively solved problem. The real challenge is in the logistics. How do you get the package onto the drone? And today, that's mostly a manual process, where our courier partners are the ones that can go pick up packages and load them. This is the multimodality that I was talking about earlier too. Not just that a drone versus a car can come to you, but the way that they can work together. This is represented in an experiment we're running in Dallas today too, where we're taking these two paths and putting them together. Check it out. So no matter what, it's important that multiple modalities get involved within a delivery. It's really exciting for us to put robots and drones together to make this effort possible. But it's not just the solution of the technology, although that's exciting and keeps us up at night solving them. At Wolt, we have a saying that we don't build MVPs, minimum viable products, as I'm sure you all know. We build MLPs, minimum lovable products. And it's important for us to always keep in mind the customer and to make sure that we're building something that's for them. We have to keep in mind what's important. And for us, that became really apparent for me a couple of years ago when I got to be in Australia with my family and my kid here on the left. I got to order a drone delivery for him. And I'll never forget the way his eyes lit up as the drone flew overhead and his ice cream lowered from the sky. This has been the universal reaction, to be honest. I have to say kids love it, maybe a little bit more, but Riley over there has become one of our absolute top customers that loves the service. What we've realized, though, is not just how cool that experience is, which it absolutely is. What struck me when I watched my son get his first drone delivery was how commonplace I thought this would become in the future. This would just be what he grew up with. And that's turned out to be fairly true. My kids have now received drone delivery on 4 separate continents, and every one of them has been as delightful as that first one, even without the ice cream. What we want here is to build a world that we want our kids to live in. And for Wolt, that is building tighter communities. But that tighter community comes at a cost, and we need to make sure that it's sustainable as well. There are only so many 2-ton cars that can deliver 2 kilos of takeout to you that the Earth can support. Robots and drones are a way that we can spread out that load a little bit and make this a more sustainable future for our kids. Today, our network is built around cars primarily, and that's okay, but we've seen that even robots and drones can address a large number of those deliveries. But what's exciting for us is more than that. Drones aren't just an opportunity to replace existing orders with a more efficient means, even though they are. They're about market expansion, and that's what's really exciting to us. Imagine the world where you wake up late for a meeting. I know this never happens, but you rush to go brush your teeth. You need a coffee to get going with your day, but you gotta be out the door in 5 minutes. Imagine ordering on Wolt a coffee at that moment, running out the door, and having your coffee waiting there as you go to catch your train. That's the potential of Wolt with autonomous delivery. It's not changing an existing delivery to be slightly better. It's a delivery you never would have made before. You never would have taken the chance with Wolt to order that coffee. In this new world, you might, and what we're competing with then is your coffee maker inside your kitchen. The opportunities are endless as we think about what autonomous delivery can change about the addressable markets that we're going into. And this is an exciting thing for us. We see that this is the future of delivery, and we're committed to making it a reality. It's not all perfect and it's not all smooth though. There are significant challenges that autonomous systems can't manage. And that's why we are committed to being a multimodal service. Like we talked about, ATMs not replacing bank tellers. In fact, they magnified their ability and their productivity. We see the same thing with robots. In fact, I would go further and say that courier partners are the reason why autonomy will become a part of your everyday life. There are too many limitations to the way that robots operate, limitations to where they can go, how they can be loaded, and the human network around it is what will make it possible for this thing to scale. And with that, we plan to work closely with stakeholders, communities, and governments of all levels to make sure that we do this the right way, safe and reliable. I can say that I know that this is a marathon, not a sprint. We have a long ways to go, but the starting gun seems to have fired a lot earlier than a lot of people were expecting. And so we're here to help figure that out. There's a lot along sustainability, a lot along the technology and the operational handoff that we need to do. But we're thrilled that it seems to move beyond just an R&D technology problem and one that can move into our everyday lives. We're committed to making this the best approach and a good world for our kids to live in. I'm really excited, and as you can tell, something that I always love talking about is autonomy. So if there's something that we can work with you to help make this a reality, or if you want to talk robots in the future, I'd be excited to. Thanks everyone for having me. Have a good day.